Morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dark Red Podcast. Today we have Funmilayo, a distinguished Nigerian sports journalist, on seat today, and I would allow her to say a few words before we jump right into the topic for today's discussion. So, Funmilayo, over to you. Please tell us briefly who you are and what you do.
Okay. So, like you said, my name is Funmilayo Fameso. I'm an athletic journalist. I've been doing track and field coverage for like a decade now. I presently work at Pulse Sports Nigeria, which is one of the leading sports media firms in the country. So, I'm very passionate about track and field, Nigerian athlete promotion to the world, talking about Nigerian athletes, world athletes and everybody, and looking at how we can make these athletes into recognizable brand. So that's a bit of myself, like on the aspect of journalism. So I'm looking forward to the Paris Olympics. I'm hoping that in Tokyo, and yeah, I'm looking forward.
So will you be traveling? Will you be traveling?
Thank you.
Will you be traveling for the Olympics to report, or you're going to be watching from Nigeria?
Okay, so as of now, no, I'm doing the coverage from Nigeria. Everything I can do.
Okay, that's really nice. So, but what do you think about the athletes right now? Not just in the field and sport, but in other aspects of all our Nigerian athletics, in the Olympics. Do you think we even have a chance? Do you think we have a chance at all with this, with how it's going and what the team have done so far? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so in track and field, I think we have a chance, not a big chance, slim chance. Yes. So and why did I say little above that? It's because we currently have two elite athletes in the country now, which are Toby Amuso and Esibumi. And last Olympics in Tokyo, Esibumi won a bronze medal in the women's long jump. And a year after that, Toby Amuso became the world champion and the world record holder. So based on performances at major championships and being consistent through the years, you always reach to Esibumi and Toby Amuso. So Toby Amuso in the women's 100 meters hurdles, because I'm a very realistic person. I'm always very, straightforward with what I give. I think because the event is one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive event that they are going to compete at the Olympics. So I wouldn't really say that, yes, Toby Amuso is going to win a medal. But I can say that she'll be a top challenger. No, I would say yes, like 99% that she's going to win a medal. No, but because she's the world record holder and she's the former world champion and she has been to major championships before, then you cannot write her off to actually win the medal, which is why she'll be categorized as a top challenger. And considering her performances this season, we've had like 8 or 9 athletes that ran faster than her this season. And she competed yesterday at the Mike Holloway Pro Classic in Florida, which would be probably her last race before the Olympics. And she was beaten. She came second. So, and that was like the NCAA champion, that's the US college champion that won the race. So when you look at that, and that's not even part of the same list, like the elite list that we are going to see in Paris. So that's why I said that it's going to be slim. But based on her performances and the fact that she always picks at the right time for a major championship, I'm not going to write her off. But the chances are slim. Like, I'm not going to put too much more, but I'm not going to write her off at all.
Yeah. That's very, very interesting on how you just put it down, right? And thank you so much for that. But you talked about para Olympics, right? That you're also looking forward to that. Is that also part of? Do you think we even have people in that area for the Paralympics? as Nigerians, do you think we have
Yeah,
our team?
through the years, Nigeria has always performed better at the Paralympics than the main Olympics. We've always won medals. Like medals are guaranteed as in Paralympics. World records are guaranteed during Paralympics. So they've never disappointed at the Olympics to give us medals. So if we are looking at that aspect of winning medals for in Nigeria, then you can be sure that the Paralympics are going to give us that. I was fortunate enough to interview the world record holder, Funmilayo, during Ladies in Sports conference, and I was asking her preparedness for the Paralympics, and she said she's well prepared, that she's looking forward to win another gold medal because she's the reigning Olympic gold medal and world record holder. So she said she's well prepared. She's looking forward to another major performance, in Paris. So yes, the para athletes have better chances for us. But the main Olympics, like the Olympics, track and field Olympics, we can't write them off like that. They can't, give us medal. They can surprise us actually. So I'm looking forward to that.
But just a quick one. What do you think is really causing our team not to do so well? Is it the fact the sport federation, Nigerian Sport Federation, isn't picking the right people, or they're not going after, they're not scouting the right talent? Or what? Why do you think Nigeria doesn't get enough medal chances, in big competitions like?
So it's not about the talent. If you are talking about talent, Nigeria is one of the most talented countries in the world. And when I talk about the most, when you mention the USA and then you mention Jamaica, then you can mention Nigeria. Based on talents, based on population, we have. But the issue is that the preparations before these championships are always very poor. There are no, early preparations for these athletes. Like, we only focus on the main athletes that can guarantee us medals or are capable of guaranteeing us medals. And when I mean by main athletes, I'm talking of Toby Amson and Ese Funmi. So we don't look at the fact that, okay, can a Favor Ofili actually spring a surprise? How can we support Favor Ofili to actually spring a surprise to cause an upset in Paris? So the preparations are always very poor through the years. It's just like immediately after a certain Olympics, we forget about it until 4 years after, maybe like a month before. And other countries, they do this. Immediately the Olympics is ending, they've started preparations for the next one. They're already scouting talents for the next one. They are already looking for the next Usain Bolt. They're already looking for the next Kakari Richardson. Do you understand? So it's not about talent basically, but most times administration-wise and, management-wise. And looking at the athletes as well, I think most of them, they need to up their, I don't want to say mentality, but I believe that they need to move away from the fact that, oh, I'm at the Olympics, the excitement of I'm at the Olympics, I qualify for the Olympics, and move and take a step higher that I can actually win a medal. I can actually get to the final. So the excitement shouldn't just be about, oh, I qualify for the Olympics, I'm competing at the Olympics. The excitement should be further. Because a Jamaican athlete won't just be like, I qualified for the Olympics. A Jamaican athlete will be looking at the fact that, can I win a medal? I want to win a medal. I want to upset the Americans. Same thing with the Americans.
What would I call it? The NFF not paying or there's no incentives as much. We hear about them owing these people, months and months later. Do you think they don't really have enough motivation? Do you think that's another reason why these people don't do as much?
It could be through the years, the monetization aspects or the monetary aspects, I beg your pardon. So when you look at how much each federation is paying their athletes compared to other countries, is extremely low. Like, I was going through the list of prize monies that some countries will be awarding to their medalists, and I was seeing something like $300,000 for gold medal, or $300,000 for gold medal. I was seeing $150,000 for gold medal. In fact, the least you see is probably $20,000, and then the
You talk to
ministry
your heartstrings.
releases that of Nigeria, and they're saying it's $5,000 for a gold medal. And I'm like, okay,
How do you want to
5,000
compare?
compared. Imagine living in a country that the gold medal is going to earn like $200,000 above, or even $100,000 above. The extra motivation, the extra, everything is there for her or for her or him to want to actually go for that gold medal. So the monetary aspect is there too. And it shouldn't just be that when the championship arises that we will not start thinking of how much can we pay them. A year before, 2 years before, give them, stipends for training, for their to keep themselves healthy and all those things. So it's not just like an athlete's life is like a 9 to 5 job, a working class person 9 to 5 job. So a 9 to 5 job, you earn your rewards at the end of the month based on your salary. So if we can do that for athletes too, monthly stipends, to keep them for their upkeep, so that they won't have to focus on all those things are part of it. They motivate athletes, they help them perform better, they help them improve, and they can actually pay their trainers, they can pay their coaches, they can eat well, they can go for training with the right motivations, being mobile and all those things. So it's everything intertwines together to actually give a great performance from an athlete at a major championship. So yeah, the Ministry of Sports and the Athletics Federation of Nigeria should actually look at that aspects, after Paris. Let's get moving forward.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about football.
It's very, very interesting. Thank you for enlightening us. Vincent, do you want to go ahead and ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was going to talk about football briefly. So for me, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, they finally made their return to the Olympic Games. I think this is the first time since 2008. So we have the Super Falcons in the Olympics for the first time since Beijing. So I know you've been following, because I saw your tweets during the women's AFCON, during the women's World Cup.
Okay, so it depends on the aspect of doing well. When you talk about doing well, are we talking about medaling, finishing in the top three?
Yes,
or getting to the semifinals, or getting to the
top three at least.
That would be very it's going to be difficult. But the Super Falcons have actually been one of the best performing Nigerian teams in the past 2 years. The last World they did so well. They even performed better than their male counterparts. At international championships. So that the last World Cup really gave them an edge to challenge, major countries of major footballing countries, that they can actually beat them. And really is that they qualified for the Olympics, they won their matches. You can actually tip them that they will be the best African team. Although I think they are the only African team that will be in Paris. They can actually go far. So the last time Nigeria got at the Olympics was, if I'm not mistaken, Sydney 2000 that we got to the quarterfinal. I think that was the farthest, the best place we finished at the Olympics for female team. So this year, I'm not ruling them out to actually make the quarterfinal as well, but going for the top three finish when you've got USA, you've got Canada, the reigning Olympic champions. You've got Germany. You've got host country France. It's going to be pretty difficult. But if they can surpass their highest finish, which is the quarterfinal, and perhaps get to the semifinal, I think that would be a marvelous outing for them. So yeah, I don't think so, honestly.
Yeah, I think you're actually quite correct. So I think you've talked about what the government can do to just, support us. But what do you think is really stopping us from being like those powerhouse like Jamaica? When you see all the Jamaican athletes or the US athletes and you see how good they are, why do you just think we can't just be like those global powerhouse, our counterparts?
One thing I would say is, like I said earlier on management, how is training like in Nigeria? what are the good stadiums that we have in Nigeria? For instance, now in Lagos, there are only 2 active stadiums that you can train. I think, yeah.
Wow.
Not even 2 stadiums. I think just one. Because that's the Teslim Balogun Stadium. The National Stadium in Surulere is not active. Track clubs, they go to like Yaba Tech to train, and then Unilag, they use their track in Unilag. So you wonder that a city of like almost 20 million people has just one active stadium. We are supposed to have even mini stadiums in each local government or LCDA, so that we can actually, talents can be trained in these places. For instance, now I have so many people come to me that, their athlete, their daughter is very talented, their son is very talented. They want him or her to run. I'm like, okay, we have to go for training, but the only place that there is to train is in Sule and Yaba. And when we look at it, it's always so far from their distance. And then the discouragement is there. Just that. Imagine coming to train from Ikorodu to Surulere. That's how it is. So in that aspect, building a number of stadiums to actually develop talents in mini LCDAs, like in LCDAs, like having mini stadiums is part of it. Then coaching too is another thing. When you look at the coaches, the caliber of coaches that Jamaicans and Americans have, they've produced multiple gold medalists, Olympic medalists, World Championship medalists. And in Nigeria, how many have we produced? How many coaches have produced athletes to such extent? How does the federation support the coaches to go for training programs to upgrade their knowledge on the sport? Because track and field keeps evolving every single day. You learn new techniques of getting better at running faster. How much do these coaches know about this? Is it the knowledge they've gained in the 90s or the early 2000s that they are using now? You understand? So when you look at this, it's this everything is intertwined. In Jamaica now, they have two major coaches that, in fact, 3 as of now, that develop athletes to become medalists at major championships. And they still have a functioning university groups. How will I explain it? University setting, sports setting, whereby in Jamaica now, their main basis of developing talents or discovering talents is their secondary school. Now from secondary school, once they discover the talents, the very good talents, when they enter the university, there are good coaches, like world-class coaches in their universities that can develop this talent to actually the next level. Now, from the university stage, once they see that this athlete in particular is very talented, then the main national coaches takes them up to their track club, and from there they develop them into global stardom. These are the phases that some people like Shelly and Fraser Price, Ellen Thompson era, they went through from their champs to their college to the main listening. Now in Nigeria, what is the means of developing talent? Fine, we have the National Youth Games. But after the National Youth Games, how much do we follow up on these kids? Where do we hand them over? Do we just leave them to go back to their schools? Do you understand? Who are the coaches that we like, okay, grassroots talent?
And you see, and you even see that in the US, where they finished secondary school, and when they entered university, they focus more on the sports, right? And you see that it's either basketball or American football or something, and that's where you could just really see how the youths are being groomed, and you see all the sports.
They're being groomed, and the thing in US colleges, they are training you because they are offering you scholarships for you to do well for their school.
Exactly.
So once your scholarship ends or your university this thing ends, you're almost left to yourself, except you were a standout athlete. Standout. That's why we see people like Toby Amuson, Blessing Okagbari, Favor Philly, after graduating in US colleges, they still belong to an elite training group in the US because they were standouts in their college. Now, almost 70% or more than 70% of Nigerian athletes that go to US colleges end up not making it to professional level or not, becoming so spectacular at a professional level. So the point here is the problem here is, why should we be sending our best talents to US colleges? Why can't we train them here? What can be done? In the next few years, we'll find situations whereby home-based athletes, that's those groomed here, we will have very few home-based athletes, apart from the young ones like teenagers. And the teenagers will be looking forward to go to NCAA, to go to the US. So there's no, I was telling someone, I said, when we look at it, who have we groomed in Nigeria here, home-based, didn't need to go to US college to elite level, and is still competing internationally and maybe perhaps getting us medals? It's been a long time. Apart from this lady, Patience Ogun George, it's been a long time we've done that. It was in the 90s, in the early 2000s that we had people like Olusoji Fakuba. Do you get that? They didn't need to go to US college. They were trained here, but they still needed to go to Europe to better their talents. But I'm talking of grown everything here. Probably they just need to go to Europe to compete, come back to Nigeria, because the means of competing here is not favorable to improve. So these are the things that needs to be checked. Talent wise, we are, I don't know, I used to say that we are a pool of talents in Nigeria. Like you keep, like in an ocean, like you're expecting like in an ocean, you're expecting the finishes to just, do not find a fish in the ocean anymore. Like things that it's not possible. That's how we have talents in the country. So we'll keep getting from our well of talent, but how well are we grooming them? And what is the future? What future are we looking at for them in the next few years? Like winning Olympic gold medals and things like that. Imagine we've not produced an Olympic gold medal since 1996 when Choma Ajima won long jump gold. And we are millions of people. I mean, like Jamaica is not even up to how many, maybe 5 million, maybe they're like 5, 10.
Yeah, I know.
They're having every show, you see. So it's a lot of things.
That's
so a lot of things are responsible.
So that takes me to our last question, which is, do you have any prediction for what Nigeria would actually, the number of medals they can get, in this Olympics? Do you have any? Can you predict how many do you think we can actually get?
When we are looking at sports, we are competing and I'm looking at wrestling. I think the wrestlers, they've done very good with the years. And I think last in Tokyo, we got a medal, a silver medal in wrestling. So I think that's another sport that we can look forward to, that to get medal, probably more than one medal. Do you understand? Wrestling and then track and field, honestly. Boxing used to be a major strength of ours in the past, but due to, poor management and poor development, we've actually gone down the pipe through the years.
Wow.
So track and field, like I said earlier on, S.A. Funmi or Toby Amson. And then in the relays, because in track and field at the Olympic level, the relays have been major events that we've won the most medals. So in the relays, I'm looking at the mixed 4x400 meters. I think if it's done well and the right selection is made, I think we can actually challenge in the mixed 4x4. So mixed 4x4, Toby Amson perhaps, and S.A. Funmi perhaps, and then in wrestling. And let's not forget weightlifting. Weightlifting to examine for the chance. Yeah, so we can actually look at weightlifting as well. So probably 5. Let's look at 5. We win 5 medals. That's fine.
Okay. I think for me, in my head, I was thinking 2. If I was to predict, I was going to predict like 2 medals.
I'm saying they don't want to win medal, so let's just be optimistic. Pick 5.
Yeah. I think that's very correct. But just to round this up, how did you get into sport analysts? Like, I remember there was this particular Aisha Falode that I really knew that was one of the biggest sport analysts back then on TV.
Yeah, she was one of the main people that she was one of the main people that I watched. Yeah, growing up. Growing up, I because I'm more of like an introvert. I don't really like going out. So when I'm in front of TV, like when I'm watching TV, I found out that the best thing I love to watch was watch sports news, sports events, football, anything sports, and then listening to sports programs. Those are anchored by Aisha Falode. Then there's Mitchell Obi. So then it was just like, okay.
Okay, we're going to continue this conversation, but thank you guys so much for joining in this morning. I hope you enjoyed the talks about the Olympics. We're wishing all of the team a really great time at the Olympics in Paris this year. And we hope we win lots of medals. But then again, if you have any questions or you want to predict how many medals we're going to win, please put it in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye.